Vote Doug. He's a good boy. That's right, we're talking about politics today. Just because of this shirt. Welcome back, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for the vlog. I just woke up. It is the middle of the day. It is 2:30 p.m. on a Saturday, and I'm on graveyard shift now, so it is weird. So, on graveyard shift, I get back home, I go to sleep, and then I wake up in the afternoon as is happening. And there's a couple hours window before I go to work again. Like, work's at 10:30, but, like, before work, I should get more sleep in, I feel, just so I don't pass out and people die. That's basically the idea. So, I don't have as much time as like, I excessively sleep during graveyard shift, because I just don't want to F up graveyard shift, basically. Because you're alone on this shift, so you don't want to be too tired and, like, trip on stairs, or activate the wrong thing, and then everyone dies, and then, like, you don't want to accidentally get yourself killed, because no one's going to save you, because you're alone on a graveyard shift. Also, if you get hurt, and you can't go anywhere, or you get yourself killed and you can't go anywhere, the place is just running on its own, and at some point something's going to go wrong, and then everyone, unknowingly, because they have no idea what's going on, because it's graveyard shift, bad things happen to people who have no idea, and it's all on you for dying, or getting injured at a point you can't do anything. So, it's an important job. It's an important job, and I want to keep my wits about me, which means I just sleep a lot more during the graveyard shift. That's my plan, at least. So I'm going to be around less, but I'm still going to try to be around every day. At least I'm going to try to. Like, this is my hobby, this is my thing, doing the channel, and the stream, and doing all the content creation. That is my thing. When Scarf, if we ever get a date one of these days, or a girlfriend, we'll see how that affects things. How much time we have to do things, but for the time being, Scarf is very single. So, we're still trying to keep up the schedule and make things happen, and we'll see how it goes. So last week, we showed the Gundam Wing bridge little thing we did. Well, I think one's called a winged? I'm not sure. There's a B in there or not. And we're learning now how bridging works, and the copyright stuff that deals with that, and editing and voice work. It was a lot of fun making it. Don't expect another one for a long time, but it was a lot of fun making it, and we definitely want to actually do it. It's just going to be, whew. Of course, Namco Bandai has a very strong grasp of their IP, so it's also figuring out how to put the videos out there somehow. Because we want to do this, we've been wanting to do this for a long time, we're finally doing it. And I don't want to just be us enjoying it, I want other people to enjoy it too, because it's more fun when more people enjoy something. For dang sure. So, the hope is, well, of course, more people get to enjoy it. It's just not going to be easy, that's for damn sure. That is definitely it. Now, we'll see how that goes. Other things, it's a lot of just catch up and getting things done, but still, we're able to do some new stuff, so there's going to be an episode of Strange Brigade eventually coming out. Strange Brigade is really fun. So, Strange Brigade is from Sniper Elite People Rebellion, and I mentioned this a while back after Comic-Con, Rebellion's actually been around since the Jaguar. Some of you might not even know what the Jaguar is. The Jaguar was a console at a time. This was during the time of, I think, Sega CD, so around that age was the Jaguar, and the Jaguar didn't do too well. So their first game was on Jaguar, I believe. They also made the old Alien vs. Predator games from that time as well, and that's pretty cool. So that's a very interesting history for where they started. For me, I didn't know who they were until Sniper Elite 1. That was on, of course, PC, and I've been a fan of them ever since Sniper Elite 1. I did not know they were this old, though. So they've been around for a long time. I'm trying to remember, because a couple different places have done their anniversaries right now. Vlambeer had their 8-year anniversary. I'm trying to remember if Rebellion is 18 years or 25 years. No, they can't be 25, because Kirby's 26, and that's Nintendo. So I think Rebellion's 18 years. So they've been going strong for a long time. And I got to meet some of the developers, and they were really cool, and Rebellion's just a good company. Like a fun company. I like them a lot. And they've made good quality stuff for sure. The other one was the Vermintide 2 DLC, and it's pretty good. any DLC is going to have good points and bad points. Overall, I like the DLC. It's a $10 DLC, but the justification for it being a $10 DLC is the fact that only one person needs to own it. That's always been a nice thing about how Vermintide does their DLC, is only one person needs it, and then everyone else can also participate in the maps. Of course, though, you don't get whatever other bonuses you get from owning the DLC. So there's that little bonus for being the one who owns it, but if you just want to play the maps, that's just such a cool concept that, well, everyone else can also play with you. That's just great. So what that does, of course, is it doesn't split up the group. You and your friends, if only one of you can afford the DLC, like, you can all still play together. Because that's always a concern about games where there's map packs, is that you're splitting the base. And that's more of a concern with PvP games, like, is it Battlefield or Call of Duty? Whichever one it is, when they have their maps and everything, and there's a concern of just splitting the base when they do that stuff. And you don't have to worry about that with a game like Vermintide, which it makes sense that you shouldn't, because this is a PvE game anyway, so smart on them, I think. Other things, we'll be finishing off Celeste soon, and then we'll get going. We'll finally get going on, I keep saying Apollo Justice is finally coming. That's coming up soon. Hardcore, the Hardcore series. So we did Hardcore Encore mode for Sonic Mania Plus, and the idea is you can't lose. Like, Encore mode's interesting. Encore mode is, you try to collect all 5 members. So it's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Mighty, and Ray. And those are basically your lives. So you can't exactly do a one-life run because, well, you keep gaining and losing these members. But you can do a game over run. So we did hardcore game over, which means it's just, can we beat this whole thing without losing all 5 members? And it was an amazing run. It was so good. So was the Tails run. That was a really good run until the way it ended was unfortunate. The way the Encore mode almost ended was unfortunate, but we had some really good runs here, and I actually believe it is fully possible for me to beat Sonic Mania with Tails with 1 life. I think it's possible. I really do. And that's probably an achievement I'm going to try to pull off someday in the future. That might be a really fun set of videos. Now, a cool thing was we're streaming it, and a new person showed up. I haven't seen a new person in the streams in maybe a month or so. And so it was really great to see a new person. And they talked a lot, and I was responding to them and everything. You'll see that I'm responding to somebody in the Encore videos. And the thing is, when you talk to a stream, and you're recording, you want to try to kind of just talk in a way that the viewer understands what the stream was saying. And I'm sure at points I messed up and wasn't really saying things that was making sense. It was saying things that it's kind of like you only hear one side of the phone call. But it's something you want to try to work on. I have to try to work on is, because the thing is, chat doesn't talk that often. But when it does, I need to work on that. So you'll hear or see stuff like that with that episodes. It's a really good run. It was a really good run. Because of the fact that you're trying not to get anyone killed at any point. It's a lot more high pressure, and when the character does get taken out of the team, you got to get them back. It's very entertaining. I am very proud of the Sonic Mania Plus hardcore run. I'm very much proud of this one. It's really good. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but when it comes out, it's going to be worth watching for dang sure. I'm really happy with that. Oh, the Kirby podcast came out. Episode 3 came out. And I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm going to be, I'm going to be pushing those a lot because, of course, Kirby's my favorite. And so I'm going to be pushing those a lot, trying to get more people to watch them. Because we're going to do this for a long time. Like, I'm not going to stop doing the Kirbys. Like, the reason why basically the podcast is slowed down is because I just can't get guests. And I'm just too busy to do that. While Kirby, of course, it's just me doing this. It's just me recording. And Jinx editing. Well, basically, a podcast is trying to get somebody, and you learn a lot of people are just shy or they don't have the time, and things like that. And it's a bit frustrating. It definitely is. I want to bring back basically a podcast, but I just not getting the guests I want, and it's unfortunate. There's a lot of people who just they don't think they're worth being on a podcast, or they're too busy, and I'm like, but you'd be awesome. Like, you'd be awesome to be on this thing, but they don't have it in to be on a podcast, which is too bad. That's all channel stuff. Let's see, anything else? No, going on with Scarf. Okay, going on with me right now is, well, the graveyard shift, so just dealing with that. And I'm like, do I want to, because I could be awake during this time period that I am awake, do I want to bring back the Jackbox? Do I want to bring back well, we don't need hardcore because we're just doing it. But do I want to bring back the Jackbox? And probably do. I just, um, basically that just becomes, that's my only free time on a Saturday. That's the thing I gotta ask myself. Do I want to do that or not? Because that'll be my only free time on Saturday is the Jackbox. So do I want to do that? So I gotta debate that a little bit. So we'll see whether we do Jackbox next week or not. If we don't do Jackbox next week, we will be doing Jackbox again in October. Because September is this whole graveyard shift. You only do it for 1 month every 7 months. And I like that. Other places they do it, you do 1 week of graves, a full 7 for once every 5 weeks. And I'd rather do it every 7 months because then you just get it all out of the way in one big group. You get used to it. You're stuck. You're just stuck in it. You're good. Having to adjust to it every 5 weeks, that's just gotta wreck you around. Now there are advantages to doing that though. When you have a family, when you have a family, it is pretty tough for your spouse if you're just not around for a full month. While as in the other way, you're not around for a week every 5 weeks. So like almost once a month, kind of, but not exactly. You're just not around. So I don't know. I feel like a month. If you're lucky enough to get in the right spots, the month could be fine. But it's every 7 months, so there's always going to be some inopportune months for sure. Especially if it's like December or December or November. I think those are the ones that would hit the worst, for sure. Because well, those are like the family times. December and November. You could always take a day off for like something like Halloween, but yeah, just certain days it would hurt. Certain months it would hurt to not be around. But you could always just take a day off, I feel like. So there's always that. Like for my job, it's give 5 day notice. Now, if no one can fill in the spot, then you got to do the job anyway. But there's so many people who could take the shift that you should be fine as long as you give enough notice that people could see if they can do it. And of course, you try to cover the people's shifts so that they know, like, well, you covered them this time, so they should try to cover you this time. That time later. So things like that. That's everything. So let's talk about politics. John McCain's dead. Um, John McCain is dead. He couldn't fight the cancer anymore, and he's gone. Total Biscuit couldn't fight the cancer anymore, and he's gone. Cancer kills a lot of us. Cancer kills a lot of people. Aretha Franklin died of pancreatic cancer. Like those two figures died recently. Aretha Franklin died from pancreatic cancer. John McCain died from brain cancer, I believe. I'm gonna say it was brain cancer. I could be off on that one. Well, there was the surgery marks back when they did the whole healthcare thing, and it was around here. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in his head. And yeah, we lost John McCain. Now, John McCain, of course, has done. Look, if you have a political career, you're gonna do something that not everyone likes, and you're gonna do things people do like. This is politics. Like, there's a lot of negotiating and haggling and things like that. And sometimes you vote for things you don't really want to get something you want later. That is a problem with politics. Is there is compromise, and sometimes a compromise of character, and it's unfortunate, but it is trying to haggle with a lot of people with different interests, trying to make something happen. And different people will hate John McCain for different things. Different people love John McCain for different things. What I think is the great tragedy, though, is his own party hating him at this point. The greatest tragedy is the Republicans have chosen Trump over McCain. And the reason for that partially is because McCain kept losing. McCain took on George Bush and he lost in the primaries, and George Bush, of course, is the one who became the president in 2000. In 2008, McCain tried again, and he lost to Obama in record numbers. I believe it was record numbers. Like, it was a hell of a difference in the votes there. And McCain lost badly to Obama. The thing was, I don't know if anyone could have beat Obama at the time. I don't think anyone could have. Unfortunately for McCain, he's the one that lost to it. And one of the things, of course, that hurts McCain is the fact that he chose, like, Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin is a freaking idiot. There's no good way to talk about Sarah Palin. There's no good way to talk about her. She was not the right person for the job, and he paid for it. He should have just gone with who he wanted, and who he wanted was even a guy I'm not a big fan of, but it would have been a better choice, which was Buchanan. I can't remember his name right now, but like the reason why I know who this guy is because he's more of a centrist figure. but he's definitely more of a Democrat. He's more like a left-leaning centrist figure than a right-leaning centrist figure. So it would have been interesting to see McCain run as a right-leaning centrist kind of platform, while Obama was more of like a left-leaning platform. Not really sure if Obama was more left-leaning centrist or just more left-leaning. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was a couple years ago. It was 10 years ago. And I cannot remember his name right now. But the reason why I remember that guy for the longest time, and up until now apparently, is because he's very much an anti-video game guy. The vice president that John McCain wanted to pick was a guy who was anti-video games. He definitely was all about how video games are bad, they cause violence and all this stuff. And of course, that's BS, as we all know. But this was a younger time where people were just looking for things to blame. It's very unfortunate. People looking for things to blame. But as always, we know there's a guy with an argument that I think is more interesting than video games cause violence. Now, video games cause a lack of patience. I think is a very interesting argument. And I'm listening to it right now. I'm halfway through the argument about it, so I'm not actually fully there yet. But just the start of it is interesting. That the idea is because video games just give us easy resolution to conflict, we get frustrated when we run into conflict that takes longer. And just that starting thought on it before diving deep on it is an interesting thought, because it is kind of true, where we do get very quick resolution to things. We do an action to something and it's gone. It's out of the way. And we do this thousands of times over and over again. And so we could arguably be conditioned to be more prone to frustration because things don't work out as easily as they do in video games, which we do a lot. Like, for those of us who game a lot, yeah, I could get that. The reason why I quit playing the reason why I quit playing Fortnite is because I realized I was having fun moments, but I realized there's quite a bit of randomness to it. There's skill involved, of course. You can be very good at this game with a lot of weapons, you're good. But for an average player, it's very much a slot machine. You're rolling for a good start, you're rolling for a good weapon find, and then from there you can do a lot of work. Someone like Ninja can own anyone with any weapon, good for him. But for the average player, you're hoping for the right weapon, you're hoping not to run into the wrong weapon either. And one of the reasons why I quit was I realized I'm having more negative experiences than positive experiences, and there's other things we could have for fun with our time. I don't have as much time, I need to cut something away. Fortnite's what I'm going to cut away. It's a very popular game, but everyone's watching Ninja anyway. But it's a very popular game. I shouldn't be doing this for the views. I should be doing what we want to do for fun. And it's fun at times, but it's more negative than fun. I'm playing a slot machine here, and I'm losing out a lot. So it's better to stop playing this game altogether and do something else. That's the reason I came to, and that's why I'm not playing Fortnite anymore. And it's too bad about the PvE. Like, that could overshadow the PvP game. It's too bad. I really liked the PvE game. I liked it a lot, but that PvE is never getting done. It's all about the PvP now, and that really sucks. Too bad. But yeah, that's why I'm not playing Fortnite anymore. Is because, well, I'm not having enough positive interactions anymore. And the other frustration I have is just the tactical shotgun. That is the go-to weapon. No matter what happens, no matter what interaction, if your opponent has a tactical shotgun, they'll be using it. And no matter what you're doing, if you have a tactical shotgun, you'll be using it. It's too much of an end-all, be-all, and just makes the game more boring than fun. And I don't like that. I like a game that's very variety-based. And honestly, if Fortnite did something more like cycling weapons, even core weapons, I think it'd be a lot more interesting. Like, at least every week, some things do get cycled out. To at least have 1 or 2 weeks without the tactical shotgun would be very interesting to see. But they don't do that, so I just tired of playing the game, so we're out of it. That's what happens. Things do get stale eventually. Some games never get stale, though. Like, I could still play Monster Hunter Tri and all the old... I can still play the old Monster Hunter games. They're all fun. I like Monster Hunter a lot. Monster Hunter World's really fun. We're also have Generations that just came out. And it's interesting there is both games are quite different, so it's going to be interesting how you just don't screw yourself over with the different ways of doing the game now. Like, Monster Hunter World did some things very well going forward, while Generations did things very well as well, while staying in some of the old stuff. So it's going to be very interesting trying to play both eventually. Back to politics. So it is a damn shame that, and I feel like there's got to be like a warning at the start. It was like, well, we're going to talk politics, but we're not only going to talk politics. Because I feel like politics scares people away. But politics is a part of our life. It really is. And I think the problem with politics is we treat it too much like the end-all be-all, and it kind of is. It really is. But at the same time, we we still got to all deal with each other. We try not to. There's the thing about Twitter and other things is you can mute someone or block someone, and they're out of your life forever. We have the easy ability to mute someone, and they're gone forever. We don't have to ever see anything about them ever again. I've muted quite a few people on Twitter because they're really dumb. A lot of political things because I don't really want to see people spat off stupid things anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people sharing them as well because like that's how they keep going. It's all about getting out. Like professional outrage people is very frustrating. Like Tommy Lauren and stuff like that. Her entire shtick is being offended about something and then calling the left snowflakes because they get offended by things. It's a very weird thing that is allowed, and this is the frustration when it comes to politics from the left and the right is the left uses a lot of facts, the right uses a lot of feelings, and when facts conflict with feelings, well, you choose your side on that. And it's very weird that you choose your side on that. It feels like facts should be the way to go, but you have people who are like, no, like I said earlier, McCain kept losing, so people chose Trump because, well, he's winning. They think he's a winner despite the fact he's gone bankrupt quite a few times. His company has. He is his company, so what do you want? But he's gone bankrupt so many times. And the weird thing is people called John McCain a rhino. Rhino is Republican in name only. When Trump is a rhino is the weirdest thing. And you see these examples over and over again. Trump has only been a Republican for a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 years before he made his presidential run. For the longest time, he was a Democrat and an independent. He was trying to become a president through these other things, or something big through these political parties. But after decades of failing, he went to the Republicans who were ripe for it, and there you go. It is the weirdest thing to see this stuff. And the reason why his base is okay with all the BS is because Trump does things they like. Because his base is very anti-immigration, he's very anti-immigration. His base is very much loving the catharsis of Trump just being a total piece of crap towards people. They love that. They don't care how hypocritical he's being. As long as he's doing what they want, they don't care. And that is proven by just the polls. That is proven by the heaps and heaps and heaps of lies he's told, and heaps and heaps of truth being told, and showing how much of a hypocrite he is, and it does nothing against his base. The only reason why his approval rating has slowly gone down over time is because as he goes forward, he keeps screwing over things that more people don't agree with finally to a thing. He screwed over veterans quite a bit. And it's slowly chipping away at the veterans who are for him. Because he has screwed over a lot of veterans. He screwed over just a lot of things here and there. He screwed over Harley Davidson. With his trade wars, he screwed over the farmers pretty hard. Some farmers are no longer for Trump. Some farmers still are. They believe in him. They believe he's going to pull it off. And then, of course, you got like Harley Davidson. They're in trouble. You got a lot of just other companies that rely on things that are getting tariffed by other countries because of what Trump has been doing with the trade war. And he's just losing more and more allies over time. Then, of course, you got the Mueller investigation. You got all these things happening that's making Trump lose more and more approval and things like that. It's still gonna be interesting to see whether it's a blue wave or a red wave. I don't know. They should use something else. Or why would you call it the red wave? Blue wave's fine. Red wave? Don't do that. Shouldn't do that. But back to McCain. His funeral has happened. The eulogies have come out. President George W. Bush and Barack Obama were asked to give eulogies for him. These are the two men who defeated him. Trump was asked not to come at all. And who would want Trump there anyway? It's too much of a distraction for sure, and it's also just, well, these guys didn't like each other. And it's just so frustrating to see the Republican Party choose Trump over McCain. There's the constant thing of, don't want to make too much about Trump, there's the constant thing of how did this not kill Trump's whole thing? Because he went after McCain a lot. He went after a lot of people. He was like, I like my heroes who don't get captured and things like that. And it's just like, he's not the only veteran who's been a POW. Like, that right there was enough, should have been enough for any veteran who cares about POWs to not be for Trump. That is very not okay. I see tons of veterans drive around with the POW flag. And if they're for Trump, I'm confused. Because you have a man here who is very much anti one of the most famous POWs of our time. It's very weird. And this is the thing, though, is because an argument I want to make is that politics should not be the end-all be-all, though it is, but it should not be the end of friendships and things like that. I think the vote over Trump, of course, I get that being such a frustration, but the thing was with that is there are people who voted Trump because they're just so much not Democrat at all. But I don't know. It depends. I think for that it's the context that matters, and that's the hard part. Is no one really cares about context sometimes, and that is, oh, why did someone vote for Trump? Was it a brick in the wall? Was it a brick through the window? Did they actually believe what Trump had to say? Like, what was the reason behind it? I think that's more important than they just voted Trump. Though, honestly, like, at the time, for damn sure, as you can look back at those videos, very much was not happy with anyone who voted Trump, that's for sure. It's just mind-blowing that he got this far. It really is. It should not have happened, and yet it did. And part of it is on the left's fault. It's definitely on the left's fault as well, where they trusted the numbers, they trusted the demographics, they trusted the polls, and did not campaign as hard as they could have in certain states. In very crucial states, I don't know what they were doing the last couple weeks. They were just not campaigning as hard in the places they should have, and that definitely hurt them. And we have, of course, Trump as president. John McCain's funeral is very bipartisan, and that's something that we don't see enough of anymore. Right now, things are extremely extreme, and it's getting more extreme because you have like a lot more progressives are getting voted in instead of centrists. It's very interesting seeing this. We're seeing more progressive than centrist. And I think it is definitely just because of Trump. That we have so much extremism on one side, we're going to see more extremism on the other side. And we're just going to go further apart. And I'm worried about that. Because us versus them is not what America was founded on. It was founded on that a bit, because there's always been two parties, kind of. There's the Federalists, Anti-Federalists, and things like that from the beginning. But despite the fact that you had always had two sides, sometimes 3 and 4 sides, despite the fact you have opposing sides, at the end of the day, their goal was the betterment of the country. Their goal was to find some compromise to make things better. And we're at this point where there is no compromise anymore. We're at this point where everything is extreme. Everything is the end of the world. And I get it sometimes, but I don't get it other times. You have the people who horribly actually believe that if abortion is allowed to flourish, that it'll lead to afterbirth abortions, which is freaking ridiculous. That's insane. Then you, of course, got gun rights, and oh my god. You can have Democrats who believe in the Second Amendment, because plenty do. Plenty do, but they feel like it should be better regulated than it is. I don't understand the whole... That's the thing, is like, why do we regulate so many things, but we just really don't want to regulate? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how... You got people who are like, the Second Amendment's the foundation of all the other amendments. Then why is it number 2 and not number 1? Fix the glasses, I say. Why is it number 2 if it's not number 1? Why is this the foundation if it's not number 1? Because honestly, number 1 is the foundation. Because it's number 1. They're all foundation, actually. Honestly, the first ones, the first 10, they all work out pretty well. And you don't require one for the other necessarily. The right to bear arms is kind of important for the other ones because it does help enforce some of them. But the right to speak at all is pretty important. We're going long here, so let's stop. We'll stop there. But at the end of the day, and I know I did not display it as well as I could have, and that is just, it is possible to be an ally with someone on the other side. And the death of McCain is the death of an era, it feels like, for bipartisanship, because he was such a big figure of bipartisanship. He's not the only one, but he was a big figure of that. I feel like we're getting further and further to the extremes, and if we honestly let that happen, it's going to get a lot worse, not better. Because it's going to be I really hate... This is why humor of the right is not as funny as humor of the left. Because humor of the left actually uses facts and how absurd facts are to be funny. Humor of the right is very much anti-something else to be funny. And there's only so far you can go with hate as humor. There's only so far you can go. Owning the libs can only go so far. It really can only go so far. It's funny for like a low level, but it's only funny on the lowest level. Ha! We're owning the libs. That's funny. That's it. There's no higher level. There's no more intellectual thought going on there compared to what the left does with it and centrists do with it. Because we talked this before. Why are there no funny Republicans? And it's because just the source of their material compared to the source of the left and the centrists is the left and centrists try to base their humor off everything going on. A Republican comedian tries to base their humor off what does their base hate. That can only go so far. It really can. So that right there is the vlog. I had fun talking with and watching and listening. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by and see you next time. And I was saying this to Sonic Mania, and this is what I meant is, it was also one of my favorite streams, not just recording, because I did have someone talking. I was responding to them, and they were clearly enjoying the stream. If someone and it really is true. If someone's enjoying the stream, it makes a lot better for me. Someone enjoys these vlogs, I'm happy for you. It makes these vlogs a lot better for me. If anyone enjoys something, hell yeah. It's a great feeling when someone enjoys something you make. Every time. And that's important to me. So you guys and gals are having fun? Hell yeah. See you next time.